What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing intake cleanup. So as you can see, we've still got some leftover gasket. We still got some leftover silicone goop. That's pretty thick. That is going to be tough to get out. But we're going to see if we can clean that up, see if we can get it back on the motor. I've got some brand new steel gaskets, so we won't have to worry about these getting gross like some of these felt ones do. And if we can get this back on the motor today, that means we can put that back in there. And that is going to be huge progress towards this project. So, as always, I've got tools, I've got coffee, let's go. All right, so with this, because it's an aluminum intake, we want to use something softer. We don't want to use like a metal scraper or like an actual razor blade or anything like that, because that'll damage this aluminum. This is an Edelbrock Performer RPM intake. It's not the air gap, which you can kind of tell because all of this is solid. If you look at the intake on the car, there's no actual air gap, hence the name air gap. But this is your standard Edelbrock Performer RPM intake, so let's see if we can get this nice and clean. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down right here, try to get a little bit of leverage on it. So once again, Ed coming in with the hookup. This, he said, is called a welding plate. Basically what this is a piece of really hard plastic. It's soft enough to not damage the aluminum, but it's hard enough to lift this gasket up, and it's making pretty quick work of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn the camera off. I will turn it back on once we're a little further along. I'm just going to plow away at this. Here's where we're at. This is one side pretty much all clean. So we got all that gasket off. Got most of the silicone. Got to take care of a little more of this. But this is pretty much all set. Might try to see if I can get that perfectly clean. But more silicone is going on there, so it may not be a huge deal. We may just end up putting on slightly less than I normally would. But anyway, this is clean, so this is about halfway done. So here's where we're at. Both sides looking nice and clean. Got those big globs of silicone off there. Just about ready to throw this back on. Now before we put the intake on, we got to put the valley pan back in. Got to throw the gaskets on, throw a little bit of silicone, and for that I've got the best in the business, Permatex Ultra Gray. I think I had Ultra Black on there before. Did some research. Ultra Gray is the stuff to go with. So we're going to put that on there and see where we end up. So here we go, valley pan going in. Like so. Now you notice DMR in the middle there. DMR stands for Dick Miller Racing. Dick Miller is big in the Oldsmobile world, big in Oldsmobile performance. Been doing it for forever. So what this does is it basically restricts oil going up into the heads, which is a sort of a crutch of Oldsmobile engines, but this helps with that. Extension? Yeah. Do you think that's going to give a better seal than the silicone?
Yep. I would go with it. Just spray on both sides.
Okay.
With that stuff.
Alright, so then rather than the Permatex Ultra Gray, I guess I'm going to use the, we'll give these rubber ones a try.
That would be my recommendation.
So now instead, or I guess not instead, but what I'm going to do is spray with this copper spray gasket. It says apply to both sides, let it sit until the solvent evaporates, yep. Right? And then throw it on there. So we'll give it a shot. Alright, so there we go. Copper spray gasket down. Now you want to just make sure this does have a little bit of a lip on it. I don't know if you can see that, but you just want to make sure that it's under the head, not over it. Otherwise that will be a leak, and then that means gunk all over your motor. That's not good. Any type of leak in an engine, not good. Alright, so these are now dry. Got a good little bit of tack to them. Throw these on. Just like that, yeah? Okay, that's seated. That's seated. We'll seat that one too. Okay. So now we'll flip this over. Oh yeah. Yeah, but we have to go other way around because the water pump goes over there, or the thermostat, I mean.
Yep.
Okay, so it might be easier if you have one hand on that bolt there, one right here on the. Okay. And then I think that is good. Just want to make sure that these are down in there first.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It even tilts with you. This is fancy. I'm going to have to get me one of these. Alright, so ready to start torquing down. What I did is I went around and wrote the torque sequence on here. So contrary to what you would normally think, you start from the edges and work your way inward, and we're going to 40 pounds. So you think we should do 20 first and then?
That'd be my suggestion. But then again, I wouldn't start from the outside either.
Thought the click would be louder on that.
It's only 20 pounds. So.
Okay, so number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Where is number 5? 5 is right there. Then number 6. Is this one here? And then 12. Now, if I had just gone straight to 40. Okay, 1. 2. Basically what we're doing, because I can't get the socket on there. Last time we were messing with this one bolt, Ed made this special wrench, thinned out the box end. And what we're doing is we can't move the bolt anymore with we can't move the bolt anymore when it's torqued down to 40, so what Ed's trying to do is basically turn that until he can't turn it anymore, and we're calling that 40. It's very interesting to me that it's only 40 pounds that you're torquing this down to. So, here's where we're at. Intake manifold is back on. Everything's all bolted down, torqued down, everything's torqued to spec, except for that one pane. So now next time, valve covers, exhaust. By exhaust I mean we've got to set up the headers so that way they're not causing any issues. So put the exhaust back on so that way it doesn't cause any problems, because with the motor in there you can't really get them headers on. You kind of have to do headers first and then engine. But so this was good. This is some good progress. Next time hopefully we'll be able to make some more progress towards getting this engine back in the car, and that is a huge step towards getting the car running again. So that is all for today. If you like what you're seeing, go ahead and like the video down below. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. You'll get an update every time I post a new video, and you'll be able to follow along with us as we continue this project. So with that, I'll see you next time.